Divine devices. There isn't anything divine about devices, okay, but it's a very simple, very interesting problem. What is required to solve this particular problem? Basic mathematics, school mathematics, and maybe little optimization techniques. That should be sufficient to solve this particular problem. So, what is the problem statement? It's a pretty simple one. Given a number n, print all the possible factors in the ascending order. Constraints, the number of test cases would be 1 to 15. And look at the n. N can be touching 10 to the power of 15. So, whenever a problem is given, there are two types of complexity which the industry would test you on. One, the complexity would be in terms of the algorithm. Two, the algorithm would be pretty simple, but the complexity will be happening in terms of the size of the data. So in this case, the alarming number is 10 to the power of 15. That is, maybe sometimes you would find that like you might not be able to imagine 1 followed by 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 7 zeros is a crore. 14 zeros are crore. So 15 zero is 10 crore. But from the industry point of view, that these numbers aren't that big. So they are expecting us to solve this problem. So they've given example 100, 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20, 25, 50 and 100. Let's start working on this. So we have picked up a few numbers to be shown to our viewers. 720. So the factors of 720 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, 16, 18, 20, 24, 30, 36, 40, 45, 48, 60 and so on. What is the normal thing comes down? Factor can happen only in a range. And in what range? It can happen between 1 to n. This is what everybody would obviously think. No factor can be less than 1 and no factor can be more than n. But when you have a closer look, you would find that there is a huge gap between n by 2 and n. So you would find the first optimization anybody comes up with is, hey Sridhar, you don't have to bother about going down till n. Stop at n by 2. I request all of my viewers, do not bother about any noise that is happening around me. I'm not sitting in a forest. I'm sitting at my home. I'm not sitting in AVM recording studio, room number 6. No, I'm sitting at my home and I'm helping you people solve the problems. You might hear the noise of a lorry. You might hear maybe a dog barking. You might hear birds chirping. Be alarmed if you hear an elephant trumpeting. That alone remind me, otherwise all is well. Okay. So 1 to n by 2. This is what normally, generally people talk about. But if you have a closer look, a much closer, microscopic closer look, something which is very obvious. What is obvious? To make a number or to become a factor of a number, you need another number. So 1 into 720 becomes 720. 2 into 360 becomes 720. So schools have taught us factors occurs as pairs. Factors occurs as pairs. Of course, there are some corner cases. Somebody who doesn't have a pair. And those are the numbers who would be squares. For example, you look at it. We'll just take 100, which is a perfect square. How does 100 work? 1 into 100. And then you would find that we have 2 into 50. And then we have 4 into 25. We have 5 into 20. Cool. And then we have 10. Oh my God. He doesn't have a partner. Why? Because 10 into 10 is 100. So the total number of factors is 9. So what can we learn here? for any number, when you count the number of factors, it would be even. If it isn't even, it is a square. Why? That guy who contributes, because square root into square root becomes a square perfectly. For him, the 10, for example, doesn't have a partner. He is a partner to himself. 1 and 100 are pairs. 2 and 50 are pairs. 4 and 25 are pairs. 5 and 20 are pairs. 10 and 10 are pairs. So when we look into it, so obvious you would find that you don't have to walk all the way till half. You can comfortably stop at square root. So the factor hunting should not go to half of it. 1 to square root of n is more than sufficient. 1. And factors occurs as pairs. If you remember, yesterday I was talking about TCS expects you to be basically strong. What do you mean by basically strong? It is simple. Whatever we learned in the school, you need to be remembering and you should be able to put it to use. That's exactly what they're expecting. So factors occurs as pairs. So whenever you meet a factor, you have another guy also who is presenting himself as a factor. The only problem is we don't get them in the order. If you look at it, see, look at it, 1 and 720, he is on the other end. 2 and 360, he is getting closer, but he is not coming. He's not very close to me. And then 3 and 240, 4 and 180, 5 and 144, 6 and 120. So if TCS is expecting me to do this in ascending order, how do I do it? Simple. Okay, so let's have a look at, is what we are seeing only for 720? No. We took some more numbers. Have a look at it. A huge number. 200 factors. 45,360. Sorry, 100 factors. So everybody occurs as pairs. The last Jodi is 210 into 216. Which means, look at it. Instead of going to 45,360 or half of it, 27 something, whatever it is, 210 is sufficient. 210 is sufficient. Let's have one more. These are the factors for 720, 720. 7,20,720 has got 200 factors. Just imagine a 6-digit number whose square root would be a 3-digit number. Instead of walking all the way till 6 digits, if you can stop at 3 digits, won't that be a wow answer? That's exactly what TCS is expecting us to do. But how do we handle this? Let's look at it. Let's just take a very simple 720 as an example and just go about doing it. Okay. So I meet 1 is a factor and his partner is 720. But he is supposed to be the last person who is supposed to get printed in my output. 2. Okay, I can print it now. Fair. 360. He is last but 1. 3. I can print it. But 240. Last but 2. So, the Jodi are occurring in an order which I don't want. I want it in the other order. So, now I cannot make the factors dance to my tune, but I can make my algorithm dance to my tune. So, what do we need? So, when I have 1, I cannot print 720, but I have 720 in my hand. I want him later sometime. So, you need to store it. Okay. I need to store 362. I need to store 240, 180, 144, 120, 90, 80, 70, 60, 48, 45, 40, 36 and 30. All of them have to be stored. And what are they? Factors of 720, which means they are a group strongly related. They are all factors of 720. So answer is array. But we access array from 0, fine. So we do not know how much. That's still fine. We can still work about it. There is always a way by which we can solve the problem. Let's start working with that. Cool. Let us put it into an array, gentlemen and ladies. We will solve the problem. When we meet the bridge, we will cross the bridge. Or we'll pole vault it. Fine? Good. So, it's time for us to do a small summarization for us. Okay. This seems to be a better option for me. A smaller number, 120. So, I have just shown you the numbers which we need to look. That is this side. And the partners of the factors who come free of cost for me. So where do I stop? At the square root. Now comes the next question. How many factors can happen? What is the worst case? Remember the worst case. Every number is a factor. Maybe. Worst case. We can think about an optimization for that little later. No problems for me. For example, what is the square root? 8. Let me have 8. Cool. So out of the 8, how many are qualifying? 6 or 7 are qualifying. Great. That is the beauty of 120. That is why I have picked up 120 as an example. You can see in the square root of 120, except for 7, everybody walks inside. But there is no possibility everybody can be there. If everybody can be there, you would find that the number becomes huge. So, worst case, you can see 90% of them can become. So what? Let us have 8. So what will we do? When we meet 1, this is the array which I am going to define. So I have just drawn additional 3 more. No problems. Fine. You will find that I am not going to lose money on that. But actually speaking, this 8 and 9 not required at all. Okay. So let me just remove it right in front of your eyes. Gone. Point A. Good. So this is the worst case it can happen. Fine. So I have 8 elements. So 1, first partner is 120. I'll store him here. 2, 60. I'll store him here. 3, store him here. So 1 has been printed, 120 has been stored. 2 has been printed, 60 has been stored. 3 has been printed, 40 has been stored. 4 has been printed, 30 has been stored, and so on. So once job is done, how do I print it? Cakewalk. Print it from 6 till 0. That's what we were taught on the very first day when we talked about arrays. How do you access an array 0 to n-1 or n-1 to 0? If you think the people who taught you are bad, no. Here, I need to access from 6 to 0. Job done. Once I have learned the basics of accessing array from the last to the first, TCS is ready to give me a job. If I am able to put it to use, that is what the catch is, ladies and gentlemen. So, why is that? Why am I getting sometimes so excited? Because TCS welcomes people even if you are able to solve 1 or 1.5 problems, they give you a welcome card. Then further, you can prove your mettle, how good you are. You can be prepared. You know that you're going to meet an interviewer. You can get ready. So this is an GO, golden opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. Now, time for getting our hands dirty. How? Let's code. So let's pick up our platform and okay, get ready for coding. I keep coding, so you will find a lot of tabs open, no hassles. Okay, fine. If we work, it has to be. Any table is untidy, it means you would find that they are working. I'm not saying that table which is kept tidy are not working. Okay, figures. Okay, I'm fine. Peace. Okay, good. So let's start. Okay, so hash include stdio.h, int main, and return 0. Then we're going to have a num. Okay, let's start with 720 or 120, which was our number which we looked. And then we need to find the square root. That is the point where we need to stop. I call this as until. And then we need to check those things. So the variable's name has to be as appropriate as possible. As appropriate as possible. Then I need to make an array. Okay. Remember, I had supported my video with yesterday. There are two ways of working. One, an array for which I know how much space is required during this time. Talking about the time when I am coding, I might know. That case, straightforward. Declare an array, have a size, happy. But here in this case, for example, how many do I want? Whatever is the square root, I need that much. So when would you know that? I can know that only during my execution time. So there are two possibilities. I can say here int later factors. Later factors, and I can say here until. So what would be the until? Until would be the square root of num. Until is equal to square root of num. If you want to use square root, jolly well include stdlib.h, or to be more precise, math.h. Math.h. Cool. So this is one way of doing. When you do this way, your memory gets allocated in the stack. Fine. And what has TCS told me? 10 to the power of 15. Listen carefully how carefully TCS is spreading a pit ready for us to not to fall. We have to be careful. They have created a trap there. So when you do this, I want every Tom, Dick and Harry and Jane and John to stay focused. It's a common mistake which a student does. He would say, hey, I will do this. Cool, I'm happy. Now the problem is you should know where will this late factors be given space. Please keep your ears wide open. Please keep your ears wide open. I did not introduce myself yesterday. Okay, to be honest, I was maybe excited. Okay, but today I am on the ground. Okay, my name is Sridhar. I have been teaching for the past 32 years. And I proudly say C is my mother tongue. Yeah, I speak Tamil, I speak English, and I speak C. Okay, so the moment I want to meet you in this particular line number 9, I want everybody to make it clear what would be the mistake done by everybody else. There are around few thousands are listening. I'm very happy for you. So this is going to be the trap by TCS. Why? If they give you a 15-digit number, a square root would be a 7-digit number. And taking up a 7-digit number in stack, look how clever TCS is. Everybody, every other person who are making videos over there around us have missed this finer point, ladies and gentlemen. This is the finest point of this particular problem. TCS is just not joking and asking you a very simple factors problem. Come on. It's a huge organization. Pioneers. They know what they want to do. And they know what the students, I wouldn't say that they know what their employees are expected to know. So let us know. What is that? If in one of the test cases, if they happen to give you 10 to the power of 15, this would crash. Hence, let us not buy memory in the stack. We need to buy memory in the heap. If you need to buy memory in the heap, ladies and gentlemen, this cannot be declared like this. This has to be declared in a different form. How? It is going to be an array. It is going to be an array, but dynamically allocated by the wish of the programmer. And in heap. How? So how do I divide it? I would just say here int later factors. How many? I don't know, but I'm going to keep track of that with a dynamic array. And this box, this later factors is going to be given space. This is going to be in the stack. So for him, I'll say, hey, you start with null. Why? Because you are a dangerous guy. You are a gun pointing at somebody and I don't want you to shoot. So I would just say, no, you have a gun, drop it towards the ground. Everybody is safe. Null. Ground it. Now we can understand the importance of null. Right? Cool. So, next. And to access that later factors, I'm going to have one index called as later factors index. Fine. Industry loves people who are good. Not only technically, not only at heart, it is going to be a gratitude, it's going to be a respect we show others. The code what we write, I'm not going to be just married to one company, I'm going to stick on ever. We move because we might outgrow the company. So the code what we have used should be maintainable by somebody else. Always keep this. Have an array declared and any index for that, let that sit next to it so that everybody can understand later factors ind. It means it is an index that is going to be applied on an array called later factors. This is what we want to teach you so that when you cross the first two rounds, maybe if you are a second year, third year or the first year, when you come out and ask for an internship, they would remember you. Oh, that guy who wrote a decent code. Wow, that girl who read a pretty code. Welcome. Red carpet welcome. Cool? Paka? Good. So now, I think time. All we need to get into find. So where would my factor start checking? Starts from 1. So for check factor. For check factor equals to 1. How long will that go? Fine, cool. Check factor less than or equal to until till the square root. And what should we do? We have to check every single number. We shouldn't leave anybody. Check factor plus plus. Then check, is he qualified to be a factor? If he is becoming a factor for a number, how would you know? If my num modulo check factor. When I am typing this, okay, I can hear a bell. Hey, Sridhar, you have been talking furiously. You have been talking about a 15-digit number and you have declared an integer. Haha. Let's make the change right now. Thanks for that alarm. What about this? This also. Okay, look at it. Check factor, but this need not be. It can be there anything wrong. This can be kept as a long. So here also it's going to be a long. Why? The factor, it's going to be 10 to the power of 14 or 10 to the power of 13. You need to have a long. Fine. Look, this is what I'm telling you. Be live when you are coding. Be live. Just don't muck up code. Feel. Start from your heart, your code begins. Not from your head. Head joins later. My heart joined and later my head was telling long. Thank you. Cool. So if it is a factor, print the check factor. Print the check factor. So percentage LLD, comma space and the check factor. Cool. But what about the partner? What about the partner? Hey, relax. We will hold him in the array. So if he is a factor, first print the guy whom is helping us. Control V, gentlemen, thank you. And his partner, that is num by check factor, that is the quotient part, who is also a factor, have to be put into a array. Which array? So I can just say here later factors. This is what the waiting area, later factors of later factors IND, later factors IND, okay, should have the value of the num by check factor. Perfect. Cool. Then what about the job of the later factors IND? What should he be? He should have been beginning with 0. Okay. So let's copy this and paste it over here away and say, hey, you start with 0 first. I'm sorry. You start with 0. Okay. So be it. Let him start with 0. And the next one shouldn't be 1. Yes. So I need to store it and make him into 1. So I would say plus plus. Okay. Now there is a short form where I can just put plus plus over here. I can hear few sweethearts murmuring, I would have preferred to have the plus plus. No problems. I am teaching for everybody to understand. Or in fact, if you want to say equal to mean plus 1, fair. Absolutely fine. Good. Trust me, job is over. But when you come out, look at it, when you come out, we have populated the later factors. So what should we do with that? We just have to print it. That's it. So let's just put a for. What is that? The later factors IND is actually 1 after the last value stored. Clean. Remember, he is 1 after the last value stored. So I pull him back. Buddy, come back here. So how do I pull him back? Later factors IND minus minus. Okay, good. Now he has come down into the populated area. From that point onwards, let us start printing it. So till what point? As long as he is greater than or equal to 0, and just keep subtracting 1 and just print it. Trust me, code is over. That is all. How long did we take? Just half an hour to talk and listen to all the gyan what I have been giving. And finally, just say later factors of later factors IND. Later, I'm sorry, caps went on. Later factors of later factors IND. Trust me, job is over. File, save as. I have a specific folder for you. Fine. People told me, hey Sridhar, be careful. Okay, have you all those folders ready? No. I'm not going to keep it like that. I'm going to be a plain vanilla person like everybody else. I don't want to be a professional who's no. I would love to make mistakes. Why? I'm a human being. Okay, so I have a folder purely for this. Divine devices. Okay, and we'll put it as divine devices .c. I think it would be good in case if you can have an underscore, right? Yay. I felt so. Good. Let's run this for 120 and see what's happening. Any possibility of any errors? I hope not. Let's run this. So for 120, wow, there are no compilation errors. Okay, there is a problem. There definitely is a problem, because you would find that he just came out without giving me anything except for 1. And he starts with 0. Okay, anyway, we need to I love debugging. I love debugging. So I went in and I started with 1. He is going to go on until check factor plus plus. If I find him as a factor, I printed him, and I had said later factors of IND starts with 0. Haha, I knew. Remember the PPT what it did? Do not forget to buy memory. Did we buy memory? No, we didn't. That is the problem. So later factors is equal to what? We need to buy memory. Let's buy memory. How much? Whom do we use? We'll use malloc. You will find that malloc is sufficient because you would find that we don't want all of them to become 0. That isn't any compulsory. So malloc, and what is the parameter what malloc wants? How many bytes do you want? So how many? Remember, we have decided to do until. Until is going to be my worst case. So until into size of. What's going to be every entity? Every entity is a long int. Cool. Then why is it that I have one brackets left over here? It's because, see, it's very simple. If I go to a shop and if I buy, for example, rice, I come back home and I cook maybe say curd rice. Next time when I go down to that shop, if I tell brother, I would like to have rice to make curd rice, he would say, buddy, you take rice from me, go home and decide what you want to make. I sell rice. That's it. Same way malloc says, I give memory. Why do you want to buy? How much do you want? You decide. But how are you going to use it? You decide. Don't ask me to decide. So I say, okay, fine, good, fine. That's a cool thing. So convert that into long int star. Who knows it? The user knows it. The buyer knows it. Cool. Okay, good. So now let's run this and see this guy is working. Okay, let's run. Cool. Okay, fine. And don't bother about the time taking because you find that. Look at that speed. Okay. Can we have a huge number? Why not? We'll just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. No. 720 or 45360, right? We'll just have a look at that. Some nice numbers which we have been using. That's much better, right? So first, 45360, 100 numbers. Let's try that. 45360. Is that guy working? Let's test it out. It works. And look at the time actually. Fine. Running time. 0.041. That's fine, Sridhar. Just make it a little more larger. 720. Fine. That would be around 200 numbers. Let's find out whether your program, how does it respond. Check it out. That's it. Look at that. Drop of the hat. Now let us try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. 10 digits. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 15 digits. Test it out. Just like that. Just like that. Now, if this takes 0.108, even if you give 15 numbers, it would still be less than that. Isn't coding that easy? Okay, we have one responsibility. A responsible programmer would give it back. That is the beauty of having dynamic memory, ladies and gentlemen. It is just not taking from the heap. It also gives the freedom. Thank you. It gives you the freedom of choosing to give it back when you do not want it. Right? Great. So free, what is that? Later factors. So that if this has to be put on a repeated test case, I am a sensible professional guy. I am informing TCS, dear TCS, you are watching a student who is not only good enough, he knows how to handle his life. Do not use unnecessary things like how we spent sometimes money on the buy what we did. Fear factor. What would happen in case if the next 6 months people don't open up their shop? People have been buying kg and kg of rice and wheat. Let's not do that. No fear buying. Okay, cool. I think we are done. Half an hour. Oh my God. I was expecting this to go for 1 hour. We are done with 35 minutes. All explanation, all theory, demo, everything. 35 minutes. Isn't life cool? Ha, exactly. So, what should we do now? All we need to do is wind up. Okay, say thank you very much, and I'll see you again in the next problem. Right? Till then, keep smiling, smiling, and smiling. Stay home, stay safe. See you again, ladies and gentlemen, dear participants, and the professors and the lecturers who also have joined to listen to us. Thank you very much for joining us. Bye bye for now.